Hey everybody, this is Joseph Pisek, and welcome to the Fired Up Network. Welcome to Crunching the Numbers. Welcome to NFL Week 11 with two-time Emmy Award winner Mark Everett Kelly. Mark, how you doing? Week 11 in the National Football League. Are you excited?
Oh, I'm so excited. It's around this time of year that what do they say? That men turn it from boys and dreams start to appear. And I think for the NFL, so many teams are in it, and there's been such a chaotic year from week to week. You have no idea what's going to happen. So I think for a fan, that if you don't really have an interest in any of the teams, this is great. Like for me, my team's out of it. They stink every year, so I'm enjoying watching these games, not knowing what's going to happen.
All right, we're going to start off. It's Sunday, November 16th. 9:30 in the morning. 9:30 in the morning in Madrid, Spain. Óyeme, Mark. Aquí estoy. The Miami Dolphins y Washington Commanders. Miami favored now by 2 points. 2-point favorites. Miami. And Washington, whoever's playing for Washington. But I want you to give your prediction in Spanish. The game is in Madrid, so you have to give your prediction in Spanish. So whoever you like, pass it along to me or get my secretary, and she'll translate it into Spanish.
Que yo quiero.
Wait.
Marcus Mariota.
I'm just telling you. Okay, fine. You don't know Spanish. Do it in French. I'm Canadian, eh?
No.
All right.
I can do American.
Canadian English, eh?
Okay. Well, Mariota has been playing real well. So,
that sounds like somebody from Alabama.
No, Alabama's more like this. But when Jane Daniels got hurt, I think we saw this memories of emotional low. Even the Dolphins can come in and beat them, which you mentioned rivalry game. Yeah, they beat the Bills, but they've been so inconsistent. They've been so bad. And, I mean, their GM gets fired. Their head coach should have been fired. Tua has really no future there. They talked about trading Waddle and some of their other players. But either way, they still made it through. They're not going to make the playoffs. They're 3-7. No one really knows what's going to happen at the end of the year, but I think they'll beat the Redskins.
So you think they'll beat Washington? Or you think Miami will win? I didn't hear you.
No, I picked the Dolphins.
You're telling me
because the Redskins are done.
Win?
Yeah, the Redskins are done. They're emotionally done.
Of course they're done because they're called the Commanders.
Yes, the Commanders.
Anyway,
I'm sorry.
He's so confused. He's so confused because the game's in Madrid. I threw him off base because he doesn't know Spanish, all right? So he picks the Dolphins to win at 14 points, he says. All right? So let's get to the 1 p.m. games here. Not bad matchup. We'll get to my Bills later on. But the Chargers, the Jaguars, the Chargers are favored by 2.5, 1 p.m. Let's go.
Yeah, the Chargers, I think. The Jaguars had a rough loss last week, and the Chargers are better. I think they'll – in a battle of mediocre teams that you never know how they're going to play, I take the Chargers.
All right. Also 1 o'clock, Chicago, surprising everybody. Minnesota favored by 3.5. The game's in Minnesota.
Chicago, easy.
Easy, all right.
They've been pulling things out of the hat. They've been Tim Tebow in games. So Chicago, to me, they're better anyway. Minnesota, you don't know what you can get from McCarthy, the quarterback, and I just think Chicago's on a roll.
The Green Bay Packers invade New York to take on the Giants, 6.5 point favorites.
Yeah, okay. Now normally I'd say the Packers, but we have the new coach theory, which is usually a team plays better first week under a new coach. And the Giants have played everybody tough. They just have not won, lost a lot of close games. And Green Bay boy, I mean, they need a psychiatrist. Well, like the rest of football. There's so many teams like them. So I'll take. Remember, the Giants beat the Chargers pretty bad at home, so I think they'll beat the Packers.
Houston,
6.5, but that's a gimme.
Houston, Tennessee. Houston favored by 6.5 points.
Yeah, Tennessee's really bad. I'll take Houston.
Carolina, Atlanta. Atlanta favored by 3.5.
Yeah, there's another two other teams that you don't know what you're going to get. But I'll take Carolina.
And also Cincinnati at Pittsburgh. Pittsburgh favored by 5.5.
Yeah, so Pittsburgh went and they lost at Cincinnati on Thursday night. But so I think they're going to get them back, and they'll split like they do every year.
All right, the next and final 1 o'clock game is my Buffalo Bills. By the way, you see they're wearing their old jersey, the old Buffalo, up against Tampa. Buffalo at home. They're favored by 5.5. Again, kickoff is 1 p.m.
Well, I mean, Tampa's beaten Jets. They've lost to the Patriots, and they've beaten the Dolphins, right? So I think they'll lose to the Bills.
See, finally, you're getting smart. You're getting,
okay, right? Yeah. This is the way it works. Okay, the Bills play bad against Miami. They'll play much better against Tampa Bay,
and they're playing at home. All right, now the next two games, both at 4:05, but they're in the NFC West. The San Francisco 49ers up against Arizona. San Fran favored by 2.5 points.
Yeah, Arizona is a lot better than their record is, and I think San Fran has been inconsistent. Arizona, to me, should be it's like 5-4 at least with some of the losses they've had, and they play the Niners tough all the time. I mean, earlier this year they lost on the last second field goal. That was their first loss. They get them at home, and I think I mean, you saw they beat Dallas. They wind up losing big at Seattle, but Seattle's a lot better than everyone. So I think we're going to have a recovery against the Niners at home.
And then the other NFC West game, 4:05, Seattle up against the Rams. Battle for first place. Rams favored by 3.5 points.
That's going to be a good one. I've picked against Seattle all year, so I might as well pick them this week.
All right. Then we have a doozy. 4:25 game. Kansas City and Denver. Kansas City favored by 3.5 points.
Yeah, this is where Kansas City's going to turn their season around.
All right. Well, that's
you watch
for Bills fans. So you're
next, baby. City. You know, he's right, like a Pandora's box. Oh, you know,
next game, and my good friend Myles Garrett is up for this game. He wants to take Lamar Jackson and eat him like at the corral there. Your favorite place to eat steak. Baltimore and Cleveland. Baltimore favored by 7.5 points.
Yeah, look, Baltimore is now ready. Okay, Lamar Jackson got hurt earlier. They had some really tough losses. They find themselves one game behind Pittsburgh in the NFC North, and I think they're the best team in that division. Now that Jackson's back, they're going to start. They could. I don't see them losing any more than 1-2 games the rest of the year.
All right, and we have a great Sunday night football game. The Detroit Lions invade Philadelphia to take on the Eagles. The Eagles favored by 2.5. Again, the game's at 8:20 p.m. Who you like in that one?
I think I expected more of Detroit's offense. Now, I mean, they're second in points, but they're only sixth in yards, and they've got so much talent offensively. And I expected more from them. They put up 44 points, and that's what they should have done. But then only 24 against Minnesota, 24 against Tampa Bay, 70 against Kansas City. And that was after, scoring 3 straight weeks over 30. So what offense are you going to see against Philadelphia? I think they're good enough to put up good numbers. I think they're good enough to put up 30 points. And this is going to be a big game for them because the Eagles are the cream of the crop. You know they are. The Lions are looking to replace them. So if they want to make a statement here, they will.
So and Mark will be back here on Monday to preview Monday Night Football. But bye weeks this week, Indianapolis and New Orleans. And just slightly looking ahead to next week, Thursday night, My Buffalo Bills take on Houston. That's a big game there. All right. Indianapolis coming off a bye, going to Kansas City. And what about Tampa? Okay, last week playing at home, losing to New England, traveling to Buffalo. That's a not easy game. And then Sunday Night Football next week, Tampa and the Rams. So Tampa could lose 3 in a row here. So that's a very big there. And next Monday night, don't even watch it. Watch Raw. It's Carolina and San Francisco. But next week's bye weeks are Denver, the Chargers, Miami, and Washington. Of course, Miami and Washington played that Sunday morning in Madrid. Then they stay in the beach and Tua and wherever Tariq Hill there. I know he's injured, but he's in Spain. He's been calling me up, teaching Spanish and go after the Spaniards and Latinas.
Let me ask you a question, Joe. Yeah. Do you remember Chiefs-Rams game? I believe it was on either Monday night. That was like 49.
Yes, that was 3 years ago when it was like 50-49.
Yeah, Jared Goff was quarterback of the Rams. And that was one of the most entertaining games I ever saw.
Yeah, that was a very good Monday night football. Hey, what a memory from an old guy. Hey, I before you finish the question, I got the answer right. All right, you know what's also right? I'm going to tell you what's also right. Mark Everett Kelly sponsors. And the sponsor, Mark, I know I live in Canada, but you're making me enticed. Where is this? Where are you right now?
I'm at the restaurant.
No, but what? Where in America?
So I'm at the Cow Stampede here in Fort Payne. This is the place I'm telling you about that has all the food that I brag about, and it's right out there. I mean, I could go. If I go get you some, we might have Pavlov's dog thing here up in it. So I won't do that to you, but. It's a great place for middle-class families. They always run specials. They got great buffet. Miles Smith is the guy that owns it, and he does so much for the community. He's a really great guy. I mean, you can say that about a lot of people, but Miles is what they call like salt of the earth. New Yorkers would call salt of the earth type guy. And you mention my name, you get 10% off. I think we'll do 11% if it's Fired Up Network.
No, actually, me, I don't know if you can tell. I like to eat. So me and Miles came with an agreement here, all right?
Okay.
First person, if Mark Everett Kelly gets 10 out of 10 games right, the first person, and I'm telling you this right now, if you go 10, we selected about 10 games, right? If you go 10 out of 10, we have what you picked here. The first person that goes up to Mark Everett Kelly, I watched you on the Fired Up Network with the president of the province of Canada, the mayor-elect of North America, soon to run for the mayor of Madrid.
You can spell that.
Hold on. I spoke to the first person who gets you go 10 for 10, who comes up to you and says that, I will pay his dinner. I don't care if it's $20, $30, or up to $50. I don't care. I will pay. I will take it out of the budget of Mark Kelly. And that's it. So the first person, if Mark has to go 10 out of 10 and say, and hey, I watched you on Fired Up Network. That guy Joe, the president of the province of Canada, he looks good. His hair is great and everything like that. He loves Buffalo. You should love Buffalo. And he says you go 10 out of 10. I will pay for his dinner. All right, I will pay for his dinner. But if you get 4 or less out of 10. Forget about you paying because I'm not going to go to where is it again? What city is it?
Fort Payne.
What? Arkansas, Alabama?
Fort Payne, Arkansas. No, Fort Payne, Alabama. Look,
Fort Payne, Alabama, right? Great people there. One of my distant cousin Luke and Barney and everybody like that. But I'm telling you, okay, if Mark doesn't get 3 out of the 10, Mark will have to shave his head.
All right, now Joe, somebody's tracking this, right? I mean,
I'm tracking it. I'm tracking it.
Yeah, you should run to know, like, what have I done so far this year? Do you know?
Hold on, I got it right here.
Yeah.
Here it is. Well, the last 2 weeks you were in here.
No, you've really done this?
Yeah, I got it here because.
All right.
So let me do some calculations here and all that. Okay, so here it is. Mark Everett Kelly's. We're week 11, so I have 7 out of the 11 weeks. So maybe I missed a week, but whatever. Okay, he is 27 and 41.
Wow, that's pretty good.
And 41.
Yeah, I'm right on the money, huh? Literally.
That's about 35%.
That's about pretty bad.
That's like my good friend Eric Cohen. He's 30, hitting 35%.
Not bad, really. Wow.
Yeah, 3 out of 10. That's 27 out of 40. 27 and 41. Come on.
All right? I guess that's what the point spread.
Of course. By the way, to be fair, I have it here.
Oh, that's bad.
Okay, I gotta take these 2 weeks out here. Okay,
you could have lied to me, Joe. You could have made up numbers at this point.
Hold on. I'm doing calculations here. 8 out of 11 weeks. Okay. Joseph Pasek, the president of the provinces of Canada, is hitting at a rate of 74%. 74%. So whatever Mark said, reverse it. Listen to me. Okay. My best bets. Okay, here, I'll make it easy. My best bets for this week, of course, the Buffalo Bills.
Yep. Just remember, though, it's kind of like history. It's whoever writes it.
I'm not writing this. I'm telling it live on Nationwide TV.
Okay.
Nationwide TV. I'm saying, by the way, if I'm right, Mark's going to talk to my other good friend and get me a new car when I go to Fort Payne, Alabama, which I will never go. But anyways.
Oh, you will one day.
One day if they give me my car. That's right. All right.
Right.
Now speak about your guy there, the car salesman. Me and him are really good friends.
Yeah. So Bobby and Miles, that's how I met Bobby. Miles told me some things they would be doing for the community. Like on Thanksgiving Day, they'll feed a homeless. They'll do regular things like that. Very generous with the community. And very giving of their time and of their efforts. And that's how I kind of ran into it. That's how I met Miles, too, is I had somebody tell me about him. And then I came and started talking to him. And then, next thing, he's sponsoring the podcast. And then same thing with Bobby. And Bobby's great with people. Sales staff are great with people. Very friendly, always has a smile, always has a kind word for you. And that's so much of when you go in to buy a car, you don't want to be, pressed up against with some guy with, Tic Tac on his breath and, selling you something you don't need. But they don't do that over there. And that's a credit to them. Like I said, you buy once, you are a customer for life. And those two guys, you want to be in business with good people. You want to be in business with community, like mom and pop, businesses that give back to the community, and these guys definitely do. And I couldn't be in a better situation.
All right. That's Mark Everett Kelly with his great sponsors there. And Mark, enjoy the week. Enjoy Sunday. And here's the last question I'm going to ask you.
Good.
Sunday, the Canadian Football League, the CFL, has the 112th Grey Cup. We'll have a time preview of that game, not with Mark, with Norm there, but I'm just going to say, who do you like?
I was hoping you were going to ask me about that too.
You knew I was going to ask you.
Yeah, I was hoping you would. Now, who's playing again?
Well, if you knew I was going to ask you, who's Montreal? The East Division is Montreal Alouettes, and the West is in Saskatchewan. The game's playing in Winnipeg. Sunday, 6 p.m., basically 6:30 kickoff. Again, 112th Grey Cup. Who you like in that one?
Yeah, I think Doug Flutie is going to beat Warren Moon's team.
Doug Flutie is going to beat Warren Moon's team. So
Vince Ferragamo is going to come in the second half.
So, in other words, he said the Blue Jays are going to beat the Yankees, which happened.
Yeah.
He said the Blue Jays are going to beat Seattle.
Yeah, I would love to go up there and see a game, though. I would love to see a CFL game.
All right, so next year, I'm going to send you we're going to look in the calendar. I'm going to send you to Saskatchewan, Calgary, or Edmonton.
You got to go to Saskatchewan.
Day of the year. You're going to wear 4 long johns, 4 John Longs, everything like that.
The Paul Bunyan.
Some talls, but no, seriously, Montreal, Saskatchewan, do you care? In people in the States, not where you are in Fort Payne, but do they even really, Montreal won or Saskatchewan, or they really don't care? They're hooked up with NFL.
No, of course. We have a group that gets together here every Sunday and watches.
Okay, so the Grey Cup, who you like, Montreal or Saskatchewan?
Saskatchewan.
All right, that's
not a bad call. Clark Gillies was from Moose Jaw, Saskatchewan.
Yeah, so was Wendell Clark. All right, there you go. That's Mark Everett Kelly. He'll be back tomorrow for Monday Night Football. It's another doozy. Yeah, makes me to sleep. Watch Raw. It's better. It's Madison Square Garden. Raw, Madison Square Garden. The last time is now, and it's not going to be Mark Everett Kelly against John Cena. Why? Because you can't see him. Thanks a lot, Mark.